What's up, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a brand new FPV drone to show you. It is a drone review today. So we're going to take this little guy outside. We're going to fly it. And remember when I promised you that I would give you kind of a comparison between the DJI-03 and the DJI-04? Well, today I'm going to do that. Check out this setup. So we're going to go out and fly this on a 6S 1300 pack. This is the AOS 4 V5 6S version. They also have a 4S version of this, and it does come with the 03. So they're still creating new quads with DJI 03, which is good for a lot of you guys out there because this particular air unit is compatible with in the V2 goggles. They have been updated to work with the 03s. That's good news. So it will record 4K at 60 frames per second on this DVR, and it also supports SD card support on the side. And this particular quad is a smaller, little 4-inch quad that has a lot of capability. So it can do cinema or it can do freestyle. And if you've noticed, it's motored down a little bit. So we talk about quads that are motored down on the channel, and what that means is they have just been reduced in motor side to the traditional power system that normally goes on the quad, so that it will be a little more user friendly. Because if we stuck really huge 2308 motors on here, this would be a screamer on 6S. So they've motored down a little bit to make it more friendly, but it also lightens it up. So at the same time, you get a really quick, nimble, fast, freestyle capable quad out of that type of design, and a little longer flight time out of this one. So that's all the good news wrapped up into this drone. And for this particular setup, I'm running the battery on the bottom right here. You can see the strap on the bottom. You can run the battery on the bottom, or you can do it on the top. And in this case, I just have the 04 up top for you guys. So I'm going to show you both footage from the 04 and the 03 on this quad today. And you know, there may be some vibrations in the 04 because of the way I have it mounted, but we'll see how it worked out. A lot of fun. Let's go out and do some flying. After that, we'll come in and let me show you this quad on the bench. Brand new release from iFlight RC. Here we go. right, guys, welcome back from the flight test with the O3 and the O4 on board. That thing is a rocket, but first, before we get started and getting into this drone and unboxing it, showing you what this drone's all about, size-wise, all the components and everything, I just wanted to show you the price on the iFlight website. You can find our link down in the video description. I'm not ashamed to use affiliate links because that's how we keep the channel going. So it's $496.84. That is with no additional receiver. I use the DJI Remote Controller 2. You can also get an ELRS receiver on there. It's 868 by 900 megahertz if you want. That RX is going to get you up to 512.84 for the bind and fly option. With 2.4 ELRS, it gets you to 512.84, and with TBS Nano Crossfire RX, that's going to get you up to 525.84 for this one with DJI O3 on board. And now that you know how much this drone costs, this is the box that I got in the mail with ELRS on board, and I've started asking for ELRS. So I'm kind of transitioning right now between ELRS and TBS Crossfire, mainly because I'm using my Boxer, it's ELRS, but I'm also using the brand new Radio Master GX12, which I love a lot. This is the quad in the box. Let me show you what comes along with it. So this is what I got in the box: an iFlight ELRS receiver solder up, kind of schematic here. This is partially in Chinese and partially in English. I also got a Betaflight RC link set up for ELRS if you're brand new to ELRS, how to bind it up, as well as a flight safety and being responsible card. We got some extra 3M tacky stick down stuff for the top of the quad where the battery is going to mount to the top of the quad. Some extra zip ties in there, 2 separate straps, and we also got a disclaimer manual, which is mostly in Chinese, English on the other side, and we got 1 pack of 4x4x3 HQ props. So again, this is a 4-inch quad. We also got some extra M3 hardware here for the top of the frame, and we got some extra M2 hardware and some stickers. Now here's the AOS 4 V5 on the scale, and it is weighing in with my DJI 4 on board at 336.6 grams. That is without a battery. Now with the battery that we flew 2 sessions with is the 6S 1200 milliamp as well as a 1300. Let's go ahead and weigh both of them. That's 532 grams, 0.7. And with the 1300, I also flew this one. The 6S 1300 is going to get me up to 535.6 grams, but the weight without the O4 on board is 299 grams, and a total takeoff weight with, say, something like a 6S 1050 milliamp pack is going to get you under 500 grams. iFlight says on the website at 482 grams. And just to give you an example of the Nazgul, this is the dead cat version of the brand new Nazgul Eco versus the AOS 4 V5 on the right. Look how much smaller a 4-inch quad, freestyle quad, is versus like a 5-inch. So, you know, size does matter at the end of the day. The 5s will, in my opinion, they do fly better. However, it also depends on where you fly. If you need something that's smaller, a little more portable, or you just want to take something along that you can still rip with, this is probably more nimble than the 5-inch in my opinion. This will flip and roll and turn and stop on a dime and change direction quicker, like in an FPV racing scenario, quicker than something like a 5-inch. I have seen people beat people on the race course with racing 3-inch against 5-inch and 4-inch, especially against 5-inch. So it all depends on the pilot, but they are super nimble and fast if you want them to be, and just a little more portable. And it's just kind of cute to look at. I mean, look at it from the front with the 2 cameras on. That's kind of cool with the O4 on there. I ran the XT60 down through the bottom of the frame, so I could do a bottom mount. So you can do the bottom mount like I did, or you could do a top mount battery situation if you don't have all this extra up there, which you probably won't. We have this dipole, sort of actually a dual antenna inside a singular cap for the O3. The O3 is located back here and runs to our Blitz F7 Mini right here in the front, right in the middle dead zone of the quad. And this is an 8-bolt top plate release. So we have up to 6 M3 bolts and 2 M2 bolts up at the very front. And what I thought was also kind of a nice detail about this quad was, if you look at the very front, let me turn this around in the light a little better so you can see this. This is a brand new mounting system on the front of this quad. This is silicone dampening on the side. There are 2 bolts holding this camera onto this sort of kind of like gunmetal really nice gray polished aircraft aluminum front end on here. You can kind of see as I move the quad around, it has kind of a different finish than what I've seen in the past on other iFlight quads. So I kind of like this new direction. And you can see in the reflections right here, the silicone dampener, which is really going to take a lot of kind of vibrations and things out of your video, making your O3 footage look even better. And in my opinion, at this point, why even fly with a GoPro? It doesn't come with a mount. So you can use your DVR in 4K at 60 frames per second and still come home with some pretty nice FPV freestyle footage or some mild cinema footage. Now on the bottom of this quad, there is no extra bar across the bottom. I, as a designer, would have probably put a bar across here just to give it a little more camera protection on the bottom crashes, but you do have a bar across the top protecting it in those sort of inverted frontal crashes. Now, I say mild cinema because I feel like this is more of sort of a portable FPV freestyle quad than, say, something like a cinema quad. I do say it's cinema capable just because it does have these kind of motored down style motors on here. But again, I think that their angle on this is to make it like easier for beginners getting into FPV freestyle. So that's what they're probably trying to do here, is probably trying to get you a little longer flight time and make it a little more attractive to the new guys. But in my opinion, it still rips. It has a 105 mph top speed. If you fly this on a 6S 1050 battery, you can get this little quad going over 100 miles an hour, which is pretty stinking incredible. So here's a little look at the bottom of the quad. You do see quite a bit of M2 hardware on here, and they're only using 3 M2 bolts to hold on each of these motors. And I didn't talk about the motors yet. Let's talk about what these motors are. These motors are actually going to be the Zing Series 2205, 2450 kV motors. And those are running those HQ 4x4x3s. So they are kind of a less aggressive prop. They're kind of mid-chord and a really sharp taper on the end with a tiny bit of bull nose on the end. But they are pretty efficient, and again, they're pretty quiet. You do have some kind of thinner designed arms to lighten up this frame, this sort of 2 mil bottom plate, which runs front to back here. And we have two 2 mil top and bottom plates for holding the arms on themselves. The arms themselves are around a 3.5 mm arm on this quad. So it's not the thickest arm in the world, but it will survive some crashes, which I did actually have some crashes out in the soccer field. And it just bounces, lands upside down. You can walk up, pick it up, and usually you're not going to have any damage. Lightweight also helps out with crashes. If you do go in with a much heavier quad, a lot of times you just have more damage. That's kind of how it is. The heavier they are, the harder they fall. So at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Are you going to get something like this, or are you going to go for the Freestyle Nazgul Eco series? They've been pretty popular out there. So I'm definitely like kind of wondering at this point why you would buy this one versus something like the Eco 5. The Eco 5 comes in at around $400 with GPS on board. So I'll put a link down below for both of these quads, because if you're not worried about something portable and size-wise, you might as well go for the Eco version with some GPS on the back for return to home. If you're flying in an environment where you have big trees, or you're flying over forest or things like that, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a fail-safe besides just dropping to the ground. GPS is nice because it'll come up, come back, and it'll come down and land. This one does not come with a GPS option, and maybe in the future they'll come out with that. But this one's pretty much a proximity ripper, and that's exactly what you're looking at. So yeah, it is what it is. It's a 4-inch FPV freestyle ripper that's going to be beginner friendly. So if you're intimidated by flying 5-inch, go for the 4-inch to start. Props are a little cheaper, parts are a little cheaper, a little more portable, and it's just kind of cool that they're giving us a 4-inch option in January 2025. So that's kind of nice that they're still making O3 quads out there for people, because some people are not quite sold on the DJI O4 yet. And that, that performance this summer, like we talked about with the overheating deal, and some people don't like the light version because it has more of a squashed field of view. This camera has a larger field of view and is going to be friendly for FPV freestyle, because you need to see wide when you're flying through the trees. and things like that. So I'll keep you posted on my thoughts about this one. We're going to build this one up on a larger 7-inch drone. So we'll test this '04 Pro version out on a 7-inch coming up on the channel. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you for watching the channel. It's been a lot of fun. Our channel has had a lot of changes over the past 6 months, and we are doing a little bit of everything on the channel now, and we're really kind of honing in on who our audience is and kind of going with that. So I know how a lot of you guys think, and we're all kind of in the same sort of boys club here, and it's super fun. So you know, girls welcome too, but we're gonna definitely keep having fun on the channel. I'm gonna still bring you amazing reviews on RC airplanes, RC helicopters, quadcopters, FPV freestyle drones, and maybe even a few e-bikes here and there, just because bikes are fun, drones are fun, RC is fun, and sometimes I'll keep you up to date on the latest and greatest political happenings affecting our hobby. And yes, it is fairly political out there these days, and it's kind of hard to not comment on that when it affects all of us so much, and I care about that a lot. So if you're interested in that, definitely stick around on our channel, because I will never stop speaking out on your behalf. So I got your back, and I'll bring you more reviews and news coming up on the channel, guys. Take care, happy flying, and I hope it's not snowing out there where you are, because right now it's cold here, but not snowing, and we have some blue skies finally. But I appreciate you. Please do take care, and me and this little guy, we will see you on the next one. Bye bye.